There are continuing concerns about the preparations for the 2012 European Championships to be hosted by both Ukraine and Poland, because Ukraine is behind schedule with its building work and Poland is ahead. UEFA are considering the option of awarding more games to the Poles. Rumsey reports on how the two Eastern European countries are coping with their plans for Euro 2012.
The writing is on the wall. Ukraine may need alien intervention if it is to be ready in time to fully co-host UEFA 2012. Allegations of inexperience, mismanagement and lack of government will are being cited as the cause for slow building of 2012 infrastructure. Talk of forfeiting some matches to co-host Poland does not sit well with the man who all but single-handedly delivered the tournament to his country.
Первое, я вам хочу сказать, что совершенно нам не нужно догонять Польшу.
First of all I want to say is that we don't need to catch up with Poland. We are not competitors today, we are a team. Two countries, one application form. This is why we are not competitors. Poland shouldn't be happy that in some cases we fall behind, and we shouldn't be happy that in other cases Poland falls behind. I can give you tens of examples where Ukraine is clearly ahead of Poland, but I don't think it is necessary to talk about that today.
Украина уже явно опережает Польшу, но я не считаю нужным об этом сегодня говорить.
Yuri Pavlenko is the Ukrainian Minister for Sport.
Звичайно, великий проект не може.
This is the first experience of such an event for Ukraine. And of course we do have problems at every stage. But I want to assure you that we're coping with these problems. Everybody involved in the process is interested in its good result.
Тому, починаючи з професійного рівня фахівців,
UEFA General Secretary David Taylor led a delegation to Ukraine in February. A positive assessment was his official comment, but behind the scenes there is strong talk of schedules and deadlines being missed.
Поэтому в данном случае это проблема государственного менеджмента и в скорости принятия решений.
The visit from David Taylor of UEFA showed that Ukraine is moving forward, but very slowly.
Он на сегодняшний момент и влияет.
The reason for this is a lack of will in the government. Ukraine also suffers from inexperience and weak management. We are a country that cannot make fast and effective decisions.
The tournament development plan calls for new roads between participating cities, most of which are yet to be started. There is currently no law that allows the government to compulsory purchase land in Ukraine, making the building of roads almost impossible. The railways have changed little since Soviet times. They need an overhaul, and the airport, even here in the capital Kiev, is woefully inadequate. UEFA also requires 16 permanent training camps for the teams like this one in Crimea. The sports minister says these are top of his to-do list.
На сьогоднішній день затверджена державна цільова програма підготовки.
We have a specific program and timelines to prepare for Euro 2012.
В повному обсязі. Затверджені чіткі графіки.
First of all, it's about creating sports facilities and training bases.
Ключовим напрямках підготовки.
Secondly, we must produce hotel infrastructure. And finally, airport transport systems, railway stations and bus stations.
Work has begun on the Olympic Stadium in Kiev. The project was bogged down in contract negotiations over land, but the sports ministry say that issue is now fully resolved. Here's an artistic impression of the final construction. Completion date, well, on paper, 2010. The stadium in Lviv near the Polish border remains just a hole in the ground, but this one in Dnipropetrovsk in the east near the Russian border is already finished. Privately owned by just one man, it was started and completed in 12 months. Proof that it can be done. Speak of Ukraine for long enough and the word corruption will get a mention.
Поэтому сказать о профессиональном лоббизме я бы не стал бы говорить.
A lot of international investment does not usually come to Ukraine, partly because Ukraine has a big problem with corruption. The only way we can know where UEFA 2012 money goes is to keep count of what is being spent. This is not being done.
Если мы говорим о бюджетных средствах, то
If we're talking about budget funds, the government has enough controlling bodies, including law enforcement bodies. For example, 200 million euros will go to the construction of the Olympic Stadium. Even if somebody plans to use some corrupt practices, they will get nothing but a rap on the knuckles, so they would be foolish to try.
This is Independence Square, the site of the Orange Revolution in 2003. In 2012, people will congregate here again and set up home as it becomes Ukraine's largest fan park. That is, of course, if Ukraine hangs on to the event. The view from the square is not optimistic.
The main problem is infrastructure. Ukraine is not prepared for that kind of an event.
I'm not sure if it's going to work here because we have a big transport problem.
It won't take place here because we're not ready for it.
UEFA President Michel Platini will have the final say as to how many Ukrainian cities, if any, get Euro 2012 matches. He arrives in April. If the tournament infrastructure funds are misspent or worse, misappropriated, the perpetrators of such a crime against the people of their nation can expect to be met by unhappy Cossacks in the afterlife. Matt Rumsey, Al Jazeera, Kiev.